We got a huge treat today, seeing the fight between Goku and future Trunks. I never expected Trunks to surpass Gohan from the Cell games, but he did that and more, matching Super Saiyan 3 Goku, with Goku, immaturely, briefly going into God mode to kick his ass. Well, not his ass, but literally kicking the back of his fucking head. So fucking epic. The way that the entire fight was drawn, the way that the power was shown. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've always loved the anime, but aside from the anime stretching it, fights out, stretching out the screaming and stuff, I've always felt that there's just some parts of, transforming or powering up in the manga that still are so fucking epic. That they just feel better. I don't know. It just has a different feel altogether. You know? But either way, this battle had a great sense of power scaling and sense of where Trunks is at 10 years after he left from the Cell games. So, I'm guessing, what does that mean? He's like 28, 29, maybe 30? Somewhere around that. But either way, he's not the teenager he was when we last saw him. But, it's intense to see just how much stronger he's gotten. Of course, as we saw in the first battle of the chapter, his winning streak is still the same. And by winning streak, I mean, honestly, the only fights we've ever seen him actually win are the first fights we saw him in, and the last ones before we left him. So, he has a pretty high losing streak. Not gonna lie, he's cool as a character, but for story, he's just always used as a person to show just how much stronger the enemy is. You know? But, he's still very strong, and Goku Black is definitely very strong. Technically, that would mean he's around as strong as Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Technically. But from what I know from the anime, that's probably not the case. And I'm not saying in the stronger sense either. Which makes things even weirder. But there are also some special cases behind his power that we don't know of yet. Even in the anime, most of them is still a mystery. So, we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully, due to the manga cutting out all the bullshit and, even cut down on Pilaf's legitimate child BS, it should get to the point a lot quicker. To the point I'm actually surprised they got to this arc so quickly. It's only been 15 chapters, and they've gotten where it's taken them 50 or so, 40-something episodes to get. But, enough of that. Let's just look at some of the exposition of this chapter. First of all, little Trunks finally gets to meet his future counterpart, while Beerus and Whis in the background rehash the crime of time travel, with us realizing Trunks doesn't even know who Beerus is. Which in one sense is fine, but then you realize, wait, Trunks is still technically in the future, isn't he? Majin Buu happened, yes, which I'll get to in a second, but what happens after? Goku Black? But why? Why not Beerus or something else first? We'll get to that later. But we also got to, I hate to sidestep, but I love these two. Korin and Yajirobe make an appearance, and honestly, I love these two. And I've always loved Yajirobe from the last time he was useful, from when he cut off Vegeta's tail in the Saiyan saga. Brilliant. It made him feel relevant, even if only for a brief second. But this, more than relevance, it was just Korin playing Twister while Yajirobe watches and laments the lack of females, which is kind of similar to the hijinks you'd expect from their abridged counterparts. Shout out to Team 4-Star, if you ask me. But the biggest exposition came from Trunks and Goku talking about Boo and if Trunks had defeated him. Only for Trunks to reveal that he had succeeded where his father's ego had gotten in the way. You know, Majin, Vegeta, that whole shitstorm. I mean, I guess if none of them are alive, it's just Trunks. There's less room for error. Well, except for, one other little tidbit, which, we find out that without his father's ego to get in the way, defeating Babidi and Deborah was a cinch with the Supreme Kai's help. Thinking back, the timing of that should have been a little better, but I guess they couldn't have come out the original time they wanted if the androids were still around. So to get all the energy they'd need for Boo, they probably needed to wait for humans to at least partially repopulate, which I guess is why the timeline's a little fudged up in their sense. But Beerus is also thinking about why things are so unhinged, and he questions how his future counterpart could let Goku black run around, which prompts Whis to ask Trunks of what happened to the Kai during the fight with Deborah and Babidi, which is that little tidbit that I mentioned earlier, that even Trunks, without Vegeta or the others, couldn't stop. The Supreme Kai did die. And as we know, without Piccolo, there's no Dragon Balls. So, you can see how that goes astray. And, yeah, it actually gets worse. Beerus reveals that similar to Piccolo and Kami, that if the Kai dies, the Supreme Kai, then Beerus also dies. And while it does feel like a rehash of a forgotten story element, it spreads a new light on the peril surrounding Trunks' timeline, which is really fucked up, actually. I mean, he can't have a happy moment. Literally, the one thing he did right missed one little tidbit that prevented an even bigger unseen event from being stopped early on. So, Trunks just can't have a happy moment, can he? If anything, he needs to learn how to become more powerful on his own. So, what did you guys all think about the chapter, though? Did you enjoy Trunks vs. Goku as much as I did? Tell me in the comments below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more content. Also, I did skip Chapter 14's review. I honestly had no time to do it within like the week or two that it came out, so I just skipped it. I'll do that often sometimes. But either way, I did do 13, and it was a special one as it included a comparison between, the fights in the anime. A full-on description fight. So if you guys haven't seen that, which I doubt almost any of you have, go check it out. Alright? So, also follow me on Twitter and Facebook to keep up to date with my releases. The links will be in the description below. So, till next time.